It started as an ordinary day, the kind of day that doesn't promise anything special, the kind of day you don't expect to remember later. I was walking with a friend along a quiet roadside, talking about things that didn't really matter, letting time pass in that familiar, comfortable way. The sun was not too harsh, the air felt still, and everything seemed normal, almost forgettable. And then, in a small, forgotten corner near a patch of overgrown grass, I saw him. At first, I wasn't even sure what I was looking at. It was just a shape, something small and unmoving, blending into the dull colors of dirt and dust. But as I stepped closer, the shape became clearer, and what I saw made me stop without even realizing it. It was a dog, a small, brown, fluffy dog, or at least it must have been fluffy once. Now his fur was tangled, matted into rough clumps that looked like they hadn't been touched in weeks, maybe longer. Dirt clung to every inch of his body, and his coat had lost any sense of softness it might have had. He stood there, barely moving, his body thin to the point where you could see the outline of his bones beneath the fur, his posture weak, as if even standing required effort. But what struck me the most wasn't his body. It was his eyes. There was something in them, something quiet and distant, like he had already given up on expecting anything from the world. He wasn't barking, he wasn't approaching, he wasn't even trying to run away. He just stood there, looking, waiting, or maybe not even waiting anymore, just existing. My friend noticed him too, and for a moment, neither of us said anything. There are moments when words feel unnecessary, when you both understand exactly what's in front of you and what it means. I took a step closer, slowly, careful not to startle him. I expected him to back away, to run, to show at least some fear, but he didn't. He just watched me, his body still, his breathing shallow. I reached into my bag and pulled out a packet of mixed pâté that I had bought earlier. It wasn't meant for this moment, but suddenly it felt like the only thing that mattered. I tore it open, and the smell filled the air. The change in him was immediate. His ears twitched slightly, his eyes sharpened, and for the first time, there was a spark of something alive in his expression. I crouched down and gently squeezed some of the food onto the ground, keeping my distance so he wouldn't feel threatened. For a second, he hesitated, as if unsure whether this was safe, whether this was real. And then hunger took over. He stepped forward, slowly at first, then faster, and began to eat. I have seen dogs eat before. I have fed strays before. But the way he ate, it wasn't just hunger. It was urgency, desperation, as if he didn't know when the next meal would come, as if this might be his only chance. He didn't chew properly, didn't pause, didn't look up. He just kept eating, quickly, intensely, as though the world might take it away from him at any moment. Watching him, I felt something tighten in my chest. It's one thing to know that animals suffer, that strays go hungry, that life can be cruel. It's another thing entirely to see it right in front of you, to witness it in such a raw and unfiltered way. My friend stood beside me, quiet now, watching the same scene unfold. "He must not have eaten in days," my friend said softly. I nodded, unable to look away. Maybe longer. When the food was gone, he didn't leave. Instead, he looked up at me, his eyes different now, not completely trusting, not yet, but no longer empty. There was something there now, something like hope, or maybe just recognition. He didn't bark, he didn't move away, he simply stayed. That was the moment I knew I couldn't just walk away. "I'm taking him," I said, more to myself than to my friend. There are decisions you make carefully, weighing every factor, considering every consequence. And then there are decisions that happen instantly without hesitation because something inside you refuses to let you choose otherwise. This was one of those moments. My friend didn't argue. He just nodded. "Let's do it." I moved closer again, slowly reaching out my hand. This time he didn't freeze. He didn't retreat. He allowed it. When my fingers touched his fur, I could feel how rough and tangled it was, how fragile he felt beneath it. He didn't flinch. He didn't resist. He simply accepted it. Carefully, I picked him up. He was lighter than I expected. Too light. His body felt weak, almost weightless, like there was barely anything left of him. But he didn't struggle. He just rested against me, quiet, as if he understood that something was changing. We didn't waste time. We went straight to a veterinary clinic nearby. The drive felt longer than it actually was, every minute stretching as I kept glancing at him, making sure he was still breathing, still with us. At the clinic, the veterinarian took him in immediately. They placed him on the table, gently examining him, checking his condition piece by piece. I stood there, watching, feeling a strange mix of anxiety and hope. They checked his temperature, slight fever. They examined his body, malnourished, severely underfed, but no major injuries. They listened to his breathing, checked his heartbeat, weak but stable. "Hez lucky," the vet said finally, looking at me. "Very lucky. Hez not seriously ill, just extremely undernourished. He hasn't been eating properly for a long time." Relief washed over me in a way I hadn't expected. It felt strange realizing how quickly this small, fragile life had become important to me. "Can he recover?" I asked. The vet nodded. "Yes, with proper care, good nutrition, and some time, he'll be fine." That was all I needed to hear. I made the decision right there. I would take him home. I would give him what he hadn't had: food, safety, a place to belong. When we got home, the first thing I did was prepare a bath. He needed it. More than anything, he needed to be clean, to be free from the dirt and neglect that had clung to him for so long. I placed him gently into the bathtub. At first, he seemed unsure, looking around, trying to understand what was happening. But he didn't panic. He didn't resist. It was as if he trusted that whatever came next would be better than what he had known before. As the warm water ran over him, the dirt began to wash away. Clumps of mud loosened, his fur slowly separating, revealing the soft brown coat hidden beneath the layers of neglect. I used gentle shampoo, working carefully through the tangled fur, trying not to hurt him. He stood there quietly the entire time. No struggle, no fear, just quiet acceptance. When the bath was done, I wrapped him in a towel and carried him out. Then came the drying. I used a warm air dryer, making sure it wasn't too hot, slowly drying his fur while brushing through the remaining tangles. And that's when I finally saw him. Not the broken, dirty stray I had found earlier, but the dog he truly was. His fur, once matted and dull, now soft and clean. His small body still thin, but no longer hidden beneath dirt. His face, gentle, calm, almost peaceful. It felt like watching him come back to life. I had already prepared a space for him. A clean, comfortable enclosure with soft bedding, fresh water, and proper food. Nothing extravagant, but everything he needed. When I placed him inside, he looked around slowly, taking it all in. The space, the smell, the quiet. Then, without hesitation, he lay down. Not in fear, not in exhaustion, but in comfort. For the first time, he closed his eyes, not because he had no strength left, but because he felt safe. Over the next few days, I watched him change. He ate regularly, no longer rushing, no longer desperate. His movements became steadier. His eyes became brighter, and little by little, he began to show something I hadn't seen at the beginning: happiness. He would wag his tail when he saw me. He would come closer, not out of hunger, but out of connection. He began to trust, to respond, to live. And in those moments, I realized something simple, something that people often forget. Sometimes changing a life doesn't require something extraordinary. It doesn't require grand gestures or perfect circumstances. Sometimes it begins with something as small as stopping, noticing, and choosing not to walk away. That day, I thought I was just helping a stray dog. But in the end, he gave me something too. A reminder that kindness, even in its smallest form, can be enough to bring a life back from the edge. And now, every time I see him resting peacefully, his fur soft, his body healthy, his eyes full of life, I know one thing for certain. That ordinary day was never ordinary at all.